Good evening. Thank you for watching NBC2 News Now. I'm Andrea Hubble. Here are your top news stories this Saturday night. Tonight, friends and family are mourning the death of this man, 68-year-old Thomas DeSoto. Fort Myers police tell us he was hit by a driver at the corner of Fowler and Simpson late last night. The driver took off. NBC2's Ty Russell has more on this deadly crash.
I really wish that they would, come forward and, own up to what they did.
Jared Schmidt not only called Thomas DeSoto a neighbor, he was also a friend.
He's always been a good man and just a good guy all around.
Police say the 68-year-old man was struck by a car and killed. It happened Friday night on Fowler and Simpson streets. He died about a mile away from his home. The driver kept going. Witnesses at a nearby gas station were shocked.
They said it was gruesome and terrible, and said they were up all night long consoling their kids because they had little kids with them.
Jerry Schmidt says DeSoto retired from Lee Memorial Health System. He was recently volunteering as a trolley driver.
It's very nice. That's very surprised.
DeSoto's roommate has only lived at the home for a month, but he had gotten to know DeSoto very well, like his family history and his passion for collecting shells.
I just thought it was crazy that someone had actually hit somebody and take off.
And now friends are left with these memories and no closure.
Police are looking for a brown or gold colored four-door sedan. They say its front and windshield should be heavily damaged. If you have any information, call police. Developing tonight, we are learning the name of a man killed in a motorcycle wreck late last night. 32-year-old Louis Valdevalentin was killed. This crash also happened on Fowler Street at the intersection of North Airport Road. Police are still investigating what led up to the crash and aren't releasing any other details. Only NBC2 was there when crews pulled this vehicle from the wall of a Salvation Army church right off McGregor Boulevard in Fort Myers. Family members of the driver say she was alone and was able to walk away. They claim her brakes stopped working. Instead of driving into an intersection, she was forced to turn into the lawn, crashing into the church.
Any other day, but today, it could have been bad and could have been a loss of life. Right now, it's just bricks and mortar, and we'll be able to patch it up.
No one was in the building at the time of the crash. Tomorrow's service will be held at the Red Shield Lodge on Edison Avenue at 11 o'clock. Developing tonight, President Obama says the first of the airstrikes against ISIS fighters in Iraq were successful. But that success does not mean a short campaign. The president said it could take some time, but vowed no U.S. boots on the ground. NBC's Dan Sheenman has more.
One day after the U.S. military unleashed its first airstrikes against ISIS militants in northern Iraq, President Obama spoke to the nation.
So far, these strikes have successfully destroyed arms and equipment that ISIL terrorists could have used against Erbil.
The airstrikes are also aimed at supporting Kurdish Peshmerga fighters overrun by ISIS in just the past week, and bringing humanitarian aid to tens of thousands of religious refugees forced to flee the fighting, now trapped on a mountaintop.
American forces have so far conducted 2 successful airdrops, delivering thousands of meals and gallons of water to these desperate men, women, and children.
But critics say these efforts may not be enough to beat back ISIS fighters who have, since January, overtaken a wide swath of Iraq and Syria and recently launched attacks against neighboring countries.
ISIS is a threat to Lebanon. There have already been confrontations there. It poses a major threat to Jordan. The strategy has got to be to destroy ISIS in and of itself.
But President Obama insists this intervention will not lead to U.S. boots being back on the ground in Iraq.
We can conduct airstrikes, but ultimately there's not going to be an American military solution to this problem.
It's a solution that some fear may turn a limited air campaign into another long-term military commitment. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
This is a scary story new from Central Florida. We're learning a child was bitten by a shark while swimming at a Brevard County beach. Our Central Florida affiliate tells us a 12-year-old girl was bitten at Lori Wilson Park on Cocoa Beach. She was bitten on her right foot and taken to a nearby hospital. Count on NBC2 for developments. Also new tonight, NBC2 is hearing 911 calls just after a 9-year-old Central Florida boy was bitten by an alligator.
And he was crawling up the shore, screaming, crying, and gator bites all over his back and scratches.
We told you about this story on Thursday when the child was bit near a lake south of Orlando. Investigators say James Barney was riding his bike around the lake and decided to take a dip, but the area he was in was deemed a non-swimming zone. Tonight, he's recovering from about 30 bike marks.
I didn't know what happened. I reached down to go grab it, and I felt its jaw, I felt its teeth, and I didn't know what to do.
Hospital workers even found one of the gator's teeth attached to his leg. Right now, doctors say the boy is in good condition. Christmas in August for some local kids. The Rotary of Cape Coral put on an event to provide free back-to-school supplies and sports for equipment for foster children. NBC2's Brittany Weiner was there as kids stocked up.
Oh my gosh, I was in shock right away.
Tables filled with shoes.
This is overwhelming.
Sports equipment and school supplies.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Donated by the community.
I will keep this bat in good shape as long as I can.
And it's all free.
A lot of them come with nothing, so anything they get is a gift.
For the more than 100 foster kids in Cape Coral.
Kids that are here today primarily have been traumatized, have been victims of abuse or neglect.
The Rotary of Cape Coral started collecting gently used and new sports equipment a month ago.
Surprised and amazed at just the outpouring of community support.
It's the first time the Rotary of Cape Coral has worked with the Children's Network of Southwest Florida to put on this kind of event.
I hope we can find some Olympic champions out of this.
And after seeing the smiles on the kids' faces, the organizations say this won't be their last.
Our goal today was to give these kids an opportunity to participate in sports that maybe they wouldn't otherwise have the chance to.
Chances for more children in Southwest Florida to get into the game.
It's been pretty fun. I just want to say thanks.
Reporting in Cape Coral, Brittany Weiner, NBC2.
Also, as we look ahead to the last week of summer, several local organizations teamed up to make sure children are ready to get back to class. 800 kids at the Renaissance Preserve housing community were given backpacks and supplies at the 7th annual Project Backpack. There was a block party, bounce houses, and games. Remember, you can count on NBC2 for the latest information from around the world running at the bottom of your screen. Also, you can log on 24 hours a day to NBC-2.com. I'm Andrea Hubble. Have a good night.
Stay connected, on air, online, and on the go. Everywhere you are, count on NBC2 first.
Thanks for watching NBC2 News Now. I'm Andrea Hubble. No more rum runners this summer. The old Top-O-Mass bar on Fort Myers Beach is closed. NBC2 got an inside look at what's next for the property. Developer Joe Ortolani bought it last week for $3.15 million and plans to make it something totally different. He's renovating the bar to make it family friendly to match the atmosphere of the rest of Times Square.
It does have its nightlife, but we do understand how Times Square works. We do want to preserve that, enhance it, and be a part of it.
Orlandini is bringing in someone else to run the place, but he won't say who just yet. He tells us it will be island themed and they're aiming to open this December. A change in attitude when it comes to people deciding on whether to sell their homes. Sellers are either underwater on their mortgages or are waiting for prices to go back up. But something else is adding to the lack of listings. Diana Olick uncovers a new trend.
We should sit outside. Shelley and Keon Burley are loving their new home in suburban Baltimore.